Picture yourself as a youngin' growing up. What do we do when we're kids? We do dumb things. We hang out with dumb people. We do things we're not supposed to do to learn the right way and to know the things that we are supposed to do. We're learning the ways of life. Now, imagine all those things you did when you were a kid, all the dumb things, underneath of a magnifying glass. Well, Justin Bieber did just this. Justin was found on YouTube at a young age, became an instant pop star overnight. He struggled in the media growing up, but he used and changed his ways to become a better person, and I very much respect him for this. So moving on, Justin was found on YouTube. Around the ages of 11 to 12, Justin was uploading videos on YouTube while his mom was, of him singing at talent shows so that his family that was not there could watch them. Well, a man named Scooter Braun seen his videos and instantly wanted to know who this Justin kid was. So Scooter stalked him and did everything he could until he convinced his mother, Patty Millette, to let his 12-year-old son go all the way to California in a whole other country because they're from Canada. And Justin met Usher there and Justin Timberlake, and they battled on who would be his sign-up guy. Usher won. And then Justin became a pop star overnight. He found fame. Justin's name was everywhere. Justin on this billboard, Justin there, and everybody's just flipping out over this little teeny tiny little baby boy. And how I found Justin was in 2009. I talked to my past speech about how I grew up and I did dumb things, which led me to want to be a social worker. But I found him when I was in a group home on a little Scholastic magazine, and it was this boy who was singing and playing his guitar. And right from then, I became a fan of Justin. He's the only person in the media that I follow, which is why I did my speech on him. Anyways, growing up, Justin struggled because he was constantly being watched and harassed by the world. Justin became a world pop star at 13 and was forced to give up a normal childhood. Justin came from a very poor background, and then he was handed everything he could ever want. In that time, Justin had 3 world tours, including 445 shows, before he was even 22 years old. With all of this fame came the negatives. Justin Bieber couldn't even go into his own house without the paparazzi following him, which Justin found a lot of trouble with the paparazzi because he did not like being videoed, did not like cameras in his face constantly. Justin was in many fights with them and got sued a lot. One time, a paparazzi was following Justin Bieber, and that paparazzi got into a car crash and was killed. Anyways, so Justin Bieber did things that any kid would do, but then he also did things that a kid might do, but it's in the media's eyes is very terrible, like peeing in a mop bucket. Sounds very stupid, but that was headlines. Other things such as walking on the famous rug at the Chicago Blackhawks stadium that no one is allowed to touch. Justin decided he needed to walk on it and recorded it, and that got leaked, and that was just very terrible. That led to a lot of criticism. Or egging houses. Justin Bieber egged his neighbor's house and was in for a big lawsuit for that. Justin drag raced, had some DUIs, went to jail one time. Some of these things, only reason that he could have done this was because he was handed all the money and nobody to tell him no. He recently wrote a song called Lonely about growing up in basically the media's eyes and not having that normal childhood. I'm going to quote some lyrics from there. What if you had it all, but nobody to call? Everybody knows my past, like my house was made of glass. They criticize the things I did as an idiot kid, and maybe that's the price you pay for the money and fame at an early age. And I believe that is 100% right. Justin Bieber was given everything that he never had and 100% more, and he didn't know what to do with it. He didn't have the support system that he should have had as a normal kid. He had the world, and it really tore him down. But Justin grew, and he used his troubles to be a better man. Over the years, Justin has parted from the media to gather himself. I believe he took a whole year off from social media. There were still pictures of him because, like I said, the paparazzi was all over him. But he did not have any fan interactions, nothing. He came back as a religious man. He posts about Jesus and God a lot. I personally myself am not religious, so I don't really care for that. But if that's something that makes him be a better person, then all for it. Then he also like supports the charities and gives his money when he can. He's not very selfish with that stuff. So as he's a better person now, he could have been like other celebrities such as Lindsay Lohan, Amanda Bynes, Shia LaBeouf, and Macaulay Culkin, the Home Alone dude. I'm not really sure if I pronounced his name right. But they all grew up with unnormal childhoods, given everything that they could possibly want and more, and that led them into drugs and being in jail, and they have not came back from it. None of them have. But Justin Bieber made sure to use his past to be somebody better, and he's a great example, and I truly respect him for that, because it takes a lot to come back as one of the most hated celebrities, even though you were just a baby, and to face it and keep going. In conclusion, Justin was a teenage sensation. He came from nothing and then he had it all. The world tore him apart as a child, but he used that and he grew and has become a better man. And for that, I respect him, and he's the only person that I respect in the media.